In reference to 1984's The Terminator, Andrei Tarkovsky wrote, "The brutality and low acting skills are unfortunate, but as a vision of the future and the relation between man and his destiny, the film is pushing the frontier of cinema as an art." Tarkovsky was seemingly thinking in terms of philosophic storytelling, which I can get behind, although I am today most in reverence of about James Cameron's masterpiece is its creation of so much out of so little. In many ways, this was the culmination of the Roger Corman school of filmmaking, and it eventually paved the way for Titanic and Avatar. There's a beautiful coherency to this thread, as James Cameron begins under Roger Corman, working as a VFX artist for Corman, eventually Carpenter too, and then releasing his own iconic classic, then subsequently reworking Dan O'Bannon and Ridley Scott's big-budget Corman homage into another blockbuster smash. He goes underwater, he remakes Terminator, he takes over the world of Titanic, and then Avatar was the attempted masterwork of film VFX development. Watching The Terminator now, it seems obvious why it was such a smash hit with audiences, although I sincerely wonder to what degree anyone involved in this production realised that they were working on, essentially, a cinematic masterpiece. As far as I'm concerned, this is still James Cameron's finest feature, as much as I love Aliens, and I am a fan of The Abyss and T2 certainly, but I'll tell you, very little inspires in me the emotions which 1984's The Terminator inspires. I mean, yes, this film was hugely formative for me. I remember first viewing it. I'd known of the Terminator films since I was quite young. I remember seeing clips from T2 at an early age. I remember eventually receiving T2 on DVD via some circumstance. Total Recall was in the same set, and I figured I'd better watch the first Terminator film before embarking upon its sequel. I'd never seen a film that was so grown up. I'd watched the 6, then 6 Star Wars movies and the Planet of the Apes series actually, but nothing like this. I saw a heart ripped from a man's chest, I saw female breasts for the first time, and one of the greatest acts of relatable local imagination ever devised. The idea that one was secretly a time traveler tracking a time-traveling cyborg in an attempt to prevent a futuristic apocalyptic war, this was a gift to the school playground. All this imaginary scenario required was the present day and some motivated creativity. And so did the film production. One of the finest premises for an achievable live-action genre feature. It composes so much dense mythology out of so little. The precedent for this scenario on film is in Roger Corman's 1957 feature Not of This Earth. An alien humanoid dons a large trench coat, bowler hat, and dark sunglasses to conceal his horrific eyes. He lures unsuspecting victims into his apartment, murders them, and then attaches to their corpse a vile prop which regenerates himself. The fundamental production philosophy is more or less the same. Corman delivered a noir mystery film which reveals a disguised genre mythology, and Cameron delivered an action thriller film which reveals a disguised genre mythology. A few points of observation I made about the film as I viewed it again recently. Does this film contain the coolest opening credits of the 1980s? I was worshipping Escape from New York's recently, but this one handily competes. Punk Jacket Terminator is the best Terminator look, pre-leather jacket. Leather jacket is more iconic, but I prefer the earlier look to be honest. That police station shootout is absolutely terrifying. One of the most disquieting sequences in unquestionably mainstream cinema, honestly, certainly during the 20th century. That brings us to one facet of the Terminator which makes me love it far and away the most of any Terminator film, despite Terminator 2 being definitely a cool flick. The rest are utter fucking bin tier. This is totally downstream of the sci-fi horror fusion which was probably popularized by Alien in 1979. To me, The Terminator is a horror film first, or a rare action/sci-fi/horror fusion of sorts. But also, The Terminator is an incredibly existentially beautiful film. When I call this film romantic, I don't mean necessarily in the sense of Sarah and Kyle's love, although that's perfectly nice as well. I mean the entire grand narrative implication hanging out over the film's proceedings. These two individuals are on the run from the most dangerous entity alive, the fate of the future hanging in the balance, and no one would ever know. Something about Sarah Connor's story there, especially when taking just the first film into account, is so haunting and beautiful and powerful. Assisted, of course, man. I absolutely love the music in this film. Brad Fiedel, you genius, apparently. I was actually first exposed to this storyline in Futurama Comics issue 7. I thought it was awesome then, and was excited when witnessing the storyline enacted in a live-action feature maybe a year later. Tragic love, loud explosions, time traveling, laser beams, shootouts, car chases, curse words, 80s technology, synthesizer sonics, and body horror. 1984's The Terminator truly has it all, and with the most superlative execution imaginable.